Hello students, today we are going to see hypothesis testing with one sample. So in this section today I am going to explain you only the basic idea for the hypothesis testing. We will see in the next class how to test a sample by using the problem and the method of hypothesis testing. Everything I will explain it in the next class. So today our objective is I am going to give you some introduction to hypothesis testing only. Okay, so the first section only I am going to explain it today. So introduction to hypothesis testing, under that what is a practical introduction to hypothesis test, and how to state a null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis, and how to identify the type 1 and type 2 errors, and we are going to interrupt the level of significance, how to know whether to use a one-tail and two-tail statistical test. So up to this I am going to explain you, and then how to write a claim for a hypothesis test. Everything we are going to see today. So what is my hypothesis test? It is a process that uses a sample statistics to test a claim about the value of the population parameter. I already told we are not going to test the whole population. Instead of that, we are going to take some sample from that population and we are going to test. I already gave you while cooking a pot of rice, we are not checking the whole rice inside the pot, but we are taking only a spoon of rice as a sample, and we are testing by using that whether the rice are cooked or not. We are get the conclusion by taking only a spoon of rice. Okay, so by checking that, we confirm that the whole pot of the rice has been cooked well. So like that also here we are doing the hypothesis test by using the sample statistic to test a claim about the value of the population parameter. So for example, here they have given another example. An automobile manufacturer advertises that its new hybrid car has a mean mileage of 50 miles per gallon. To test this claim, a sample would be taken. If the sample mean differ enough from the advertisement mean, you can decide that the advertisement is wrong. Okay. So what is meant by a statistical hypothesis? It's a statement or a claim about a population parameter. So here carefully they state a pair of hypotheses, one that represent the claim, other one is its complement. So what is the name for that? When one of the hypotheses is false, the other must be true. Okay, here we need to take one is true means the other must be false. When it is false, then other must be true. Okay, here that one is called null hypothesis, another one is called alternate hypothesis. What is meant by the null hypothesis? A statistical hypothesis that contains a statement of equality such as less than or equal to, equal sign, or greater than or equal to. So please note it, here we can consider the equal sign in the null hypothesis. That's why they are highlighted the word equality. So here also we are having that equal, here purely equal sign, here also we are having that equality. So this null hypothesis represented by the letter H0. The next hypothesis is called alternate hypothesis, which is opposite to null hypothesis. Here the statement of inequality, please note it, the inequality such as greater than, is not equal to, or less than. Okay, so the opposite of less than or equal to is greater than, opposite of equal sign is not equal to, opposite of greater than or equal to is the less than. So null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis are opposite to each other. Here we can denote the alternate hypothesis as here H1. Here the alternate hypothesis must be true if H0 is false. Okay, so they both are complementary statements. How to state a hypothesis? To write the null and alternate hypothesis, translate the claim about the population parameter from a verbal statement to mathematical statement. So we need to convert a verbal statement to mathematical statement. How we can translate this verbal statement to mathematical statement, I will explain it here. then write its complement. Okay. So the verbal statement which is in the problem, we need to convert to a mathematical statement like this. First of all, we need to write down the H naught by having that equal sign. Then its complement, which gives you the alternate hypothesis. So if they are using less than or equal to, here the complement is greater than. The next thing, if you are using greater than or equal to, here the complement is less than. If you are using equal sign, the complement will be the not equal to. So likewise, only these three cases will come. So we need to write, first of all, we need to convert the verbal statement to mathematical statement, and first we need to write down the H naught, and then we need to write its complement, that gives you the alternate hypothesis. So here, regardless of which pair of hypothesis you use, you always assume mu is equal to k and examine the sample distribution on the basis of this assumption. Even though we are writing less than or equal to, here greater than or equal to, we need to assume like this, mu is equal to k. Okay, write the claim as a mathematical sentence. So I am going to explain you some examples stating the null and alternate hypothesis. The first example, we write the claim as a mathematical sentence, state the null and alternate hypothesis and identify which represents the claim. The first problem, a school publishes that the mean grade of its students on their exit exam is 61%. So here they have given is. Is means equal sign. We already know about this, how to convert a verbal statement to mathematical statement in the school itself. In that, we always use for the word is the equal sign. So we need to take mu is equal to 61%, that is 0.61 as a null hypothesis. For that, the alternate is not equal to. So first of all, we need to write H naught as mu is equal to 0.61. This is the claim here. Okay, equality condition. For that, the complement of H naught is not equal to 0.61. So this is the way how to write H naught and HA. The next example, a car dealership announces that the mean time for an oil change is less than 15 minutes. So here they are using less than symbol. So your H naught value will not come as a less than. So first of all, we need to write H1 as less than 15. For that, we need to write the complement for H naught. So like that, first we need to fill up the alternate hypothesis as mu less than 15 because this is our claim. So inequality condition. After that, we need to write the H naught as greater than or equal to complement of HA. And the next problem, here the company advertises that the mean life of its furnaces is more than 18 years. So here they have mentioned more. So it comes under H1, that is the alternate hypothesis, and then we need to write the complement of this H1 as H naught. So like this. So mu is greater than 18 years, which is the inequality condition and also our claim. The complement for this is mu is less than or equal to 18 years, which is the complement of HA. So far I had explained you how to write the null and alternate hypothesis. Next thing, how to take a decision for this. No matter which hypothesis represent the claim, always begin the hypothesis by assuming the equality condition. We need to assume the equality condition in the null hypothesis as true. Okay, that assumption we need to make. Okay. At the end of the test, one of the two decisions will be made. One is, if you are rejecting the null hypothesis, one thing we can reject the H naught, another thing do not reject the H naught. That is, reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. So any one of the decision we need to make it. Okay, while taking this decision, there is a possibility of making a wrong decision also. In that situation, error arises. So what is the possible outcomes of and types of errors? So here, decision we are making. Here this is the actual decision, truth of H naught. If you have taken the decision as here, H naught is true, but we make a decision as do not reject H naught, that is the correct decision. But if H naught is false, if you are do not reject H naught, there comes an error, type 2 error. Okay. If your H0 is true but we are rejecting the H0, then type 1 error arises. If your H0 is false but we are rejecting the H0, then that is the correct decision. So here there is a name for this type 1 and type 2 error. So type 1 error means, what is mean by type 1 error? Occurs if the null hypothesis is rejected when it is true. This is very important 2-mark question. Under this chapter, they will ask what is mean null and alternate hypothesis and what is mean by type 1 and type 2 error. For that only I am explaining in this PowerPoint. Please listen carefully, students. So what's the difference between type 1 error and type 2 error? They may ask under the 2-mark question. So a type 1 error occurs if the null hypothesis is rejected when it is true, and type 2 error occurs if the null hypothesis is not rejected when it is false. Don't get confused with this type 1 and type 2 error. Please remember this tabular column. So then you can be very clear. Okay, next thing, what is mean by level of significance? Your maximum allowable probability of making a type 1 error. Okay, probability of making a type 1 error, that gives you the level of significance, and it is denoted by the letter alpha. So by setting the level of significance as small value, you are saying that you want the probability of rejecting the true null hypothesis to be small. So commonly used level of significance are 1% level of significance, this is 5% level of significance, and this is this is 10% level of significance. Okay, and this is 5%, this is 1% level of significance. So next thing, for the probability of making a type 2 error, we can use as a beta, but we are not using this probability of type 2 error, but we are always using the level of, for this level of significance, what is our decision, like that only we will do for the problem. So statistical test, there are 2 statistical tests in our syllabus now, Z and T test, and there are some more tests also, chi-square test, F test, everything we will see one by one. So in this slide, I had explained about the Z test and T test, but I am not going to explain it today. We will see in the next class. Okay. What is mean by that standardized test statistics? After stating the null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, we need to, and specifying, for the specifying level of significance, random sample is taken from the population and sample statistics are calculated. Okay. The statistic that is compared with the parameter in the null hypothesis is called the test statistics. So here the test statistics we are taken for the mean, population parameter mu. So the standardized test statistics are Z test and T test. Okay. So there is a probability value, but we are not going to use the probability value to get the decision. We are using the some other method. I will explain. Depends upon the nature of the test, we need to decide. So what are the nature of the test we are going to use? There are 3 types of hypothesis test. One is left tail test, then second one is right tail test, and third one is two tail test. What is mean by all these tests? I will explain it one by one. Here the type of test depends on the region of the sampling distribution that favors the rejection of H0. Keep it in mind. So this region is indicated by the alternate hypothesis HA or H1. So what is the left tail test? The alternate hypothesis. So because in left tail test only we will have an inequality. Okay, in alternate hypothesis only we will have that inequality. In null hypothesis we always have, you need to consider only the equality. Okay. So it depends upon the alternate hypothesis, we will have the nature of the test. So first thing is left tail test. If the alternate hypothesis is less than, contains the less than symbol, that gives you the left tail test. So how it looks. So this is the picture which shows the left tail test, which is the left of the test statistics. Test statistics will be denoted here. Okay, the next thing, right tail tail. tail test, the alternate hypothesis contains a greater than symbol, gives you the right tail test. Your picture looks like this here for the right tail test. For the two tail test, here the alternate hypothesis contains not equal to symbol. Okay, so if h naught is mu is equal to k and your alternate hypothesis looks mu is not equal to k, so you will have for both the tail, both tails will be here like this. Okay, so this is called two tail test. Okay students, what are the things we have explained so far? I had explained so far. You can understand well, I think so. By stating the H naught HA, what type of test will come? We can see through one example. I already gave this example, but we are going to correlate that example to determine whether the hypothesis test is a left tail, right tail or two tail. So here the H naught value is mu is equal to 0.61 here is, but it's not equal to will come for the alternate hypothesis. I had explained it before, which tells you the two tail test like this. For the next example, less than 15 minutes, first we need to write the alternate hypothesis and then go for null hypothesis. See, for that you will get the left tail test like this. For the third one, which is more than 18 years, so you are having the alternate hypothesis greater than symbol, so you will have the right tail test and your picture looks like this. Okay students, I am going to end up this section today's section now. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. So the remaining thing I will explain you in the next class, how to take a decision, everything. Okay, so depends upon the this one. We need to the claim is always represented by H naught, and if you are rejecting H naught, you should consider the conclusion as there is a sufficient evidence to indicate that the school claim is false. If you have failed to reject H naught, there is insufficient evidence to indicate the school claim is false. Okay, like that. So I will explain it more by using more example, and we will see in the next class everything. Okay student, see you, bye bye.